Lucky Luciano. By the way, when you're thinking about mob people of the past or people that did really bad things in the past, you're actually thinking about Nixon. Actually, Nixon was the worst. Like I said, arm chopping off Nixon. He was like a wind-up toy. You wind him up and he just goes. Like I said, basically, the Kennedy clones or the Nixons, basically, as Kennedy, he would impersonate basically me and pretend to be me, pretty much, and that was not okay. Like I said, he would be the golden boy and blah blah blah, and the one who built all these hospitals and all these things, and it was all lies. It was all complete fabrication. None of it was true. It was helped by John McCain and basically maybe Rick Bush or Rodney Dean Briley was somewhat behind some of it. I don't really know. Like I said, but Nixon was a psychopath. Basically, as see, Nixon actually was a Kennedy. Like I said, if you walked up to Nixon and said, "Nixon, will you sing me a song?" It would sound just like this. And no matter what he did, he could never change the tone of his voice. Because you see, in order to change the tone of your voice, they go in and they have to destroy the larynx, which basically sets you at a deadpan tone like this, where you can't really ever sound like you did, but you can't ever really sing. So anyway, like this, or anything else like that. Anyway, so basically, pretty much Kennedy came into power as a golden boy, blah blah, pretending to be the star. He was a star, you see, the star, and he would name this galaxy the Cosmos because it was the Cosmos because he was the Cosmos and he was here now. And it was the Cosmos. Anyway, like I said, Rick Bush and the Jehovah's Witnesses were probably 100% behind him. I do remember some things about that a little bit, but basically, as basically Kennedy, he was the golden boy, blah blah blah, and it was all fabrication, it was all lies. It was always the Starline Company and my people, really, my Germans and everything else. He was just the lie that was like he was like the wallpaper that was rolled on top of the wall. Underneath is Lucifer, Starline, Azazel, across, just like that, and everything. And then he was like he was like the wallpaper you put over it, basically. Made it look a little bit better. I mean, made it look a little bit different, but it's only paper thin. It's all basically fabrications and what people and perceived perception. Anyway, so as Kennedy, he was the golden boy, blah 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 blah, and then he had done so many horrible things that basically Kennedy was going to die, or he was going to get killed. I was doing a massive manhunt looking for Kennedy to kill him because of the fact that he was a psychopath. He had bombed Russia. He had bombed all these cities. He had done all these horrible things. And so he was going to die no matter what. So he ran to Germany, killed a whole town, and forced the doctors to basically change his larynx and also change his face. And then he would come back to power as basically Nixon. Anyway, so except for one little slight problem, I was like, wait a minute, that's Kennedy. I knew the truth, of course. As soon as I saw him, as soon as I saw a picture of him, I was like, wait a minute, that's Kennedy. And they're like, how do you know this? Blah blah blah. I was like, have him sing a song. So no matter what, and he couldn't do it. He couldn't change the pitch of his voice. The damage was already done to his larynx. So obviously, even though he sounded a lot different than he used to, but anyway, I can't do it. I can't do his voice. I used to be able to do a wicked Nixon, but anyway though. Basically, though, but pretty much he had killed a whole town in Germany, and basically to cover it up, he killed everyone, the doctors, the town, everyone died in that town, basically. And so nobody really knew they had done the surgery, and then he had killed them all, basically. And then so nobody really knew who or where he had actually gotten the surgery done. Of course, it was in Germany, of course. So anyway, though, and then basically America, or they would be like, America has the best medical, blah 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 blah, which wasn't really true. Germany and China and Russia were actually better for medical than America. Anyway, it's complete lies, complete smokescreen, and basically, Lucky though, the name Lucky actually first came into being as Jackie Kennedy's or Jackie Onassis's name. Her name was Lucky. And Kennedy and Nixon basically wanted to kill her. because they thought she was my wife, and so they wanted. So he started dating her, and I left explicit instructions that she could date him outside of the house. They could not date or spend time inside of my house. I did not want them having sex inside of my house or sleeping inside of my house. Absolute restricted rules. So she knew because some people had said that he was messing around inside of my office and that he was sitting behind my desk. And that's Lucifer Hazazel Starline's desk. My desk. The desk of 14 lifeform types. My name is Forbidden. What do you think my desk is? So anyway, 14 lifeform types and basically 14 galaxies. So it's just my house that I had built. So anyway, though, so I heard that he or someone was sitting behind my desk and all that stuff, and I left explicit instructions not to. And then, of course, there's other things like a sailboat. Onassis was watching over one of my sailboats. Basically, it was mine, and it was kept in perfect condition, basically just sitting at a dock. So Kennedy wanted to go use it one day, and so he walked up, and he had a bunch of friends with him. Well, first time they said no, you can't use the boat. And pushed him off and got him to go away. The second time he came back and he beat the crap out of the guy. And but more people came and basically he was pulled off the boat and they couldn't use the boat. Third time he walks up and he shoots the guy and kills him and takes the boat. And then he's sailing by a beach somewhere, just off the coast or whatever. He's sailing by a beach and he literally jumps off the boat and swims to shore to kiss a beautiful girl. And lets the boat sail off. My people recover it later on and tow it back and basically restore it. Anyway, he steals it a second time. How mad am I? So anyway, and I'm Azazel, Starline, Lucifer. He was a dead duck. So he thought, and then there's my car. The Renault lorry car that he was actually shot in. So anyway, so I didn't know that he had gotten Nixon originally, and then as soon as I saw him, I was like, wait, that's Kennedy, that's JFK, and his original name was John Henry Ford, or John Ford, something. Anyway, like I said, it doesn't really matter. It's all fake names. He was also John Jesus in Mexico. Anyway. And wanted to change the Mexican flag to a donkey. Anyway, though, so this is a man that angered me greatly. And like I said, most likely it was a fake Lucifer, Rodney Dean Briley, and Rick Bush somewhere back in there, somewhere trying to get me to focus all my anger basically on one man or something like that. I don't really know exactly. And which would lead to arguments inside the Mountain Drive house or somewhere, basically where Rodney's was like, we're not going to let you kill a president, Brian, and stuff like that. Probably because he was their agent, and basically I was going to have him killed, and he should be killed. I mean, he carpet bombed Russia, he carpet bombed Germany. They sprayed anthrax over Germany and China. The man was very, very bad. I don't know if it was really Rodney, the fake Lucifer, behind it all or what. I don't really care. That information will be found out, and basically they will be punished, and they were punished. Like Rodney and a lot of people were punished. They just have to die. They just don't know it yet. So anyway, because it was going to happen, it already happened, and so I was Azazel, and they couldn't kill me right away. So it took them a while, and that taking a while basically meant that I could. Basically, at some point in existence, move them into to a place of their torture. Anyway, they would do all kinds of things to avoid this, like the Simon robot and stuff like that, trying to give them more time, trying to get them to figure out where they'd be taken or who would take them, and this and that. How would they get there? Anyway, like I said, they wouldn't rationalize that. Basically, I have finally told them that well, look, the basis of all matter is energy. Whose energy do you think that is? So anyway, so basically they were done or something like that. No matter what, basically I would always have access to them and I would always be able to torture them, which I did. So anyway, and then they embarked on trying to make a copy of themselves or something like that, something crazy. Yeah, like I said, I don't know. I mean, you do the math. Basically, they didn't really know who I was or what I was, and they thought they could just step forward as basically Rodney could step forward as basically fake Lucifer. Dug himself a hole and just kept going.